Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wired Nerdy Podcast. This is season number 2, episode number 12. It's going to be a beautiful day. How you doing, Doug?
Doing great. This week has been known as Fallout Week for me, so it's been really good.
We are going to talk about that. That's our main topic today. It will be spoiler free because the show is what we're going to talk about is relatively new, and we don't want to ruin it for people. But we are going to dive into that. That's going to be our main topic for today, right? So, well, first we're going to dive into the nerd news. If you're okay with that.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, let's cue it up.
Nerd News.
All right, let me get the share going here. It was honestly kind of a slow week when it comes to the news.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was some good stuff out there, but it's just one of those things that I don't know. It kind of surprised me. I thought it would be a lot more eventful. We'll just say so.
Yeah.
All right, this first one up. I'll let you take it.
Yeah. It looks like they released a trailer for the Joker Folie à Deux, if my French is good there.
I wasn't going to even attempt it. You did a good job.
Hey, thanks. We see the Joker is in the Arkham Asylum, and then we see a character that pretty sure turns into my mind is drawing a blank.
Harley Quinn.
Thank you.
It's the morning, y'all. We're recording, so we're not quite awake yet.
So yeah, it looks like very good character development for them. Now, I've read a couple things that people are worried this is going to turn into some sort of musical.
I've heard
Hopefully that's not the case.
that.
Hopefully it's just a really deep character development of Harley Quinn, and it continues.
Maybe. I've heard there's a lot of music in it, and I've heard that there is a lot of musical sequences leveraging the Lady Gaga thing. Now, what I've heard is most of the musical sequence, which you can kind of see it in the trailer, it is in their heads because they're in Arkham Asylum, and you can kind of see that they're sitting there in like a room in their prison scrubs watching something. But then like it keeps cutting back and forth to real life and then what looks like a fantasy. So a lot of the musical stuff may be in their head. There's a fine line between that. I mean, it could be awesome or it could suck. So
Yeah,
I don't know,
agree.
bro. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
For the reasons of them overdoing the music part of it. That's one. Two, this Joker version was never intended to be continued, meaning this was a one and done. Even Joaquin Phoenix said, look, I'm going to do it once. It won't be a sequel. Todd Phillips, I think is the director. He's like, nope, we're only doing one. We're not going to milk it. But as all things, it was so popular. They were like, well, let's just do another one. And
Yeah.
I'm worried. I'm just going to be honest with you. I love the first one.
Too, yeah.
I'm a little worried about it. I'm not as stoked about this because I feel like they're kind of milking the cow for the cash cow, so to speak.
Yep.
So now,
yeah, let's hope it's not a musical and it gets back to some action. So,
well, here's the other thing, and I'm all for different renditions of things because I'm used to the comic books where you'll have 5 different versions of Batman. You know, one minute he's married to Catwoman, the next he's somebody else. What's weird about this, he's walking in the hallways and he sees the girl, she's in prison with him. The problem I have with that is most Harley Quinn stories is that she was Dr. Harlequin, and she was assigned to him to assess him in the comic. And in the comics, she's not in prison with him. She's not in Arkham with him in the insane asylum. And through visits, he converts her and has her go mad. And that's kind of like the genius of it, right? This, it looks like that's not the case. She's not a doctor. She's an inmate. So now maybe they'll say, well, she was a doctor beforehand, but I don't know. Again, I'm just a little worried about.
I am too. You know, that was a good origin story of her coming in, falling in love with the Joker and everything.
And helping him get out because she actually had sway in Arkham since she was a doctor of psychology or something. And there was something about her being a doctor of psychology, but yet falling for his madness and becoming mad herself.
Yes.
You know, and of course the Joker treats her like trash in the comics. And that's part of the beauty of like the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn, which is true. At some point in the comic series, Harley Quinn wakes up to the abusive relationship and comes into her own and doesn't need him anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a cool dynamic. I'm a little worried. I don't know. I keep saying that, but
No, we'll have to check it out.
yeah, we will. We will. And I think it's this summer, maybe?
October 4th.
Oh, wow. It's a fall. Thank you. Good catch. It's right there on
Yeah.
the screen. So we'll see what happens. Last note about this. There is a really cool scene right now. They're showing it where he's looking at the glass and she puts a smiley face with lipstick, and the camera perfectly frames it to where she says, "I want to see your true face." And he puts his mouth right over that circle and smiles. That is an amazing shot. I will say, very cool shot. So
Yeah.
that is really neat. All right. The next one up, near and dear to our hearts. We talked about it last week, I think.
Yep. We've been fighting pretty good. You know, we've had some setbacks. We thought we took care of the automatons, and they are definitely back.
He's talking about Helldivers too, everybody, just so you know.
Yeah, I'd let you clear that up. I love how this company gives their updates, such as news briefs and
Oh, yeah.
important press releases. So
It's creative. So context. So Helldivers, if you didn't watch the episode we had on it, Helldivers 2 is a co-op game with 4 people getting together, and you're playing against enemy characters that are controlled by the game company itself. You have these bugs, very Starship Trooper, and then you have like Skynet robots, and the robots were always really hard.
very hard.
How many days was it? Like 3 days, Doug, that they were gone in the game world?
Yeah, not very long.
They took them out, and we logged in with our friends, and like basically the news message, like Doug was saying, was like, yes, they've retreated, victory. And it was interesting. They were gone.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, the developer's going to throw a different enemy at us and all this. Well, 3 days later, it's kind of cool what they did. They not only brought them back, but they're apparently stronger in force. That was just apparently a warning force, which was already hard anyway. They just like keep making the game harder and harder. It's fascinating what they're doing. It's almost a story within itself within this game. So I appreciate it. I'm not looking forward to fighting against them though. Just because
now they have their better troops, their better ships,
Yep.
carriers, all that stuff.
Yep.
It's not going to be an easy fight. And even on the lowest setting, I think our group has had a lot of trouble fighting them.
Oh, they're tough. What's really neat is the lore of the game is that there's an audio that you can listen to, and I've got it playing on the screen. You can't hear it, but essentially, apparently in Helldivers 1, which I know we did not play, humans had created an AI that became sentient, and that's what you're warring against. And apparently these automaton things are created by the AI, and it's pointing out that, hey, the audio is like, we would love to just leave you be, let you be in peace, but you won't let us be. The whole point is, what I love about this game is we're the bad guys.
Yeah.
Like we're the bad guys. Like, and you read the backstory about the automatons, it's actually kind of sad. They just want their slice of the universe, but we keep encroaching upon it, is really what it boils down to. With Super Earth, it's just they're like the Empire in Star Wars. So you're playing the bad guys essentially. And it's probably why they look like stormtroopers. So
yeah, it's a crazy game. And then they have a game master that
he's making the
sets some of
decisions.
the rules, sets some of the decisions. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, so he's like making the decisions about what happens in the world, like with the recent pull out of the robots and then bringing them back. That's, I don't know. It's keeping me in. I will say that. A lot of times we play games like this, we do it for a month or so, and then we're out. We're on to something else. But this is keeping us coming back. I'll give them credit for that.
Well, and they have a great marketing team. I mean, there was a fight called Malevolent Creek.
Mm-hmm.
We lost a lot of people, I guess, and now they release capes and uniforms in honor of the fallen. I mean, they are doing a great job at marketing this as a continuous playing game. Don't play it once and drop it. It's just keep going back and back and back.
But what about what are your thoughts on the fan-made content? Because it's starting to become memes. And there's videos I've sent Doug. There's jokes about, like, especially husbands who are gone away for months at a time fighting the bugs and then they come back home.
And their kids are like, oh my God.
Daddy, what was it like on the front lines? And it's making fun of the gamer culture too, which I love. Because a lot of guys, especially, like, we don't take it that serious. Our friend group, like, we play. It's a it's a stress outlet. But I've read there are a lot of people who take this game like,
Very seriously.
oh yeah, and I think it's making fun of
Yeah.
that because like they're
Yeah.
real soldiers in a real war. It's so stupid. But I love that they're making fun of it. It's starting to take on its own like, you know, culture of memes and stuff like that. And I love that.
Yeah. I'll continue to be entertained. It's great.
It's a good one. All right. It wouldn't be nerd news without some AI, right?
Hey. I've been
So
feeling lonely. We've had an interview and a couple other
I
things. We
know.
hadn't covered AI in a
Got to
while.
bring it back. Now, this was something that Doug had brought up before. It was called the Humane AI Pen Review. Or, sorry, this is what we're reviewing it, but the Humane AI Pen. And just as a reminder, it's a little pen that goes on your shirt. It had a little projector on it, and you would set your hand out, and it would project the interface on your hand. And I believe there were some former Apple devs that were involved in it, and it was supposed to essentially be an AI that is attached to you, a wearable AI. A lot of people are excited about it. About $699, $700, and then $24 a month for a subscription. It's out and there's reviews. It's not great.
Not
And
at
one
all.
of the
Yeah.
first things I will mention that is really shocking about it, a video I saw, outside of its performance issues, it's overheating. And they did an ambient temperature. The guy was wearing, he's like, man, it feels really warm in this video. And they took an ambient temperature of it, and it was going upward like to 104, 140 degrees.
Yeah.
And
Not
he's like,
good at
wow,
all.
it feels warm. And so they're overheating. So
Yeah.
granted, it's early technology, right? I mean, it's one of those things that I don't expect it to be perfect right out the gate.
No.
But it is kind of shocking that it didn't go the way that it was. Still think it's a novel idea. But the idea is you can make phone calls, send text messages, ask it questions like Chat GPT questions. Or it had a camera on it. Like right now they're showing this guy holds the button down, points it at the building for the New York Stock Exchange and says, what is this building? And it tells you. So it's a cool idea. I don't know. Would you still try it?
I would. I mean, the price point is way out of line for
It's
me. It's
expensive.
$700. I mean, you can get a very, very nice cell phone nowadays. Not a like the top tier phone, but it doesn't do enough for me. I got to have the screen. I got to have the full keyboard. Now, I think I talked about stuff for the handicap or disabled. I think this would be an amazing tool for them. Hopefully, they get the temperature control down.
Yep. Now, I would argue its competitor is coming out in May. This guy right here.
Yeah.
The Rabbit. Now, this is a pocket companion. It's got a screen on it. It's not a pen. Now, it's only a $199 and there's no subscription. This one seemed more appealing to me just because of the price point.
Well, I think it's had some better testing and some better back-end software.
We'll find out. When it comes out, I think May. They start launching May or June. We'll talk about it, but we'll see. But the launch of this pen, the Humane pen, has not been great. Now it
So,
works. I mean, he
yeah.
shows in the video, he shows it a toy and asks what is it and that, but they're just having some performance issues. And sometimes there's a long delay in answering. So its performance is lacking, I guess.
So it's early in the morning, but I'm throwing my hate towards Apple.
Uh-oh.
So Apple developers
Early morning
love
Apple
their
hate.
stuff, and I'm just gonna say that's why it's so high. It
You think?
has a premium build,
Hmm.
but I mean $700 for that.
It is a lot. Just wait. Look, and I almost put it in the news, but I didn't. But just because I didn't feel like it was a lot of speculation, but Apple's working supposedly on an in-home robot. How much do you think, if that's true,
Oh
how
my
much do you think
gosh,
that's going to run?
10 grand maybe. I mean, not to be
Probably.
silly. You look at their headset, and what's that? $5,000, and everybody says it's too heavy and it
I
doesn't
don't think it's
work. And
5,000. It's like 500. You're talking about the Max,
oh, I thought it was.
I don't think it's that much. Oh, no. You're talking about the Vision Pro.
Yeah, the Vision Pro.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're talking about the
yeah.
VR. I thought you meant headset like
Oh no,
headphones. No,
their
yeah,
latest VR headset. Yeah,
3,500.
3,500.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's still a lot of money.
but yeah, there's definitely a premium with that Apple logo on a product. So
Yeah. So you're saying that since these are formal Apple devs, you think some of that uh,
yeah,
premium
that may
price
not be
tag
right,
is
but
traveling with them? That makes sense.
yeah,
That makes sense. It's still a fascinating concept.
it is.
I think it will improve. I do think that they're onto something. I think it's early. Um, it is a shame that maybe it doesn't perform as well as what a lot of people thought. But yeah, it is steep. I couldn't do this one. Now the rabbit one, trust me, it's crossed my mind. I was like,
Oh yeah,
I'll do
199. Yeah.
199. I got a birthday coming up. Yeah, maybe no. But I still don't know if I would use it. I'd play with it. But I
Well, I
don't know if
mean,
I'd
at least
use it.
for 199, you can probably try that out a lot faster
It
than the
is,
280.
yeah, and I love that there's no subscription, which I'm wondering how they're getting away with that. Um, my only thing on this one, and if you compare it to like the pen, so the processor that's in the pen, it tells me that I'm wondering if the pen has to go when you ask a prompt for the AI, is the pen then just sending it out to the cloud and then the processing takes place in the cloud and then comes back? And I'm
Yeah,
wondering if that subscription is for the processing power in the cloud. That's what my theory
and that
is.
might be the delay in your response.
It could be. Now with the rabbit, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they have like a powerful chip in like a Snapdragon type.
And it's onboard
And
processing.
I think what they did, they took a learning language model and they put it on the device because
Yeah,
that's one of the things they touted is pretty quick to respond. And maybe that's why it's a little cheaper and there's no subscription because you're not having to pay for cloud compute power for your prompts. That's just Keith's theory. I could be completely wrong on it, but they tout they have an operating system, an OS for natural learning
yeah.
language. And I think they put it on the device, which in my opinion, I think it's a pretty good design. That's a neat
It
way to do it.
it does look very good.
I think this one is more appealing to me cost wise and
Yeah,
having a screen even, um, and being for your than the pen. That's just my opinion.
yeah.
Yeah, see, it talks about its dimensions, its weight capacity, video resolution. I was looking to see if they had some. Oh, processor. Yeah, look right here. It's got a processor in it. It's a MediaTek octa-core Helio P35. I'm pretty sure with a processor like that, I think they put the AI on the device, and this is why it doesn't have a subscription. So we'll see how
It,
this one fares compared to it.
it'll
But
definitely be interesting
yeah,
to see.
I'd love to get my hands on one just to play with it.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if I'd use it, but anyway. All right, let's march ahead. I'm gonna let you take this one and ask you a very simple question. Are you gonna do it?
Android 15. I hope I get it in the fall of this year.
It's
I'm
in beta
talking.
right now, though. That's what
Yeah,
they just released the beta. It's out now, and you
if
could
they
get it. Yeah.
stick to their typical schedule, they usually release it at their keynote event in the fall with their new devices.
Do you ever do an early build of Android, or do you wait till it gets
I
stable?
wait. I there's a lot of bugs that come with it, and I just don't have the knowledge to revert back if a fatal bug is one of the issues.
Hmm.
And
Are they
I
doing
don't.
numbers? They don't do the. Remember, they used to have ice cream sandwich
Yeah,
and
they got away
Oreo.
with that.
Is it
Yep.
just numbers now?
hmm
That's what I
There
thought.
was marshmallow key lime pie.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
cool. It's a cool idea.
I liked it.
Now it
But yeah,
talks about what the features are. You see this?
yeah.
The satellite messaging. Didn't you mention that?
Yeah, I think they're gonna try to put that on the Pixel 9, I
Mhm,
believe. There's little UI changes, stuff with the RCS messaging.
mhm.
As we talked about before, Apple has adopted RCS, I believe, probably only because of the European Union, but
It's
it
a good
will be
thing.
good to not be that green text bubble guy
Yeah,
anymore. Or
yeah.
so,
But if you had a device like you have a tablet, like a Samsung tablet, you could,
yeah, I
if you
do.
wanted, you could do a beta on that just to play with it.
Oh yeah, and probably not mess it up, and I can factory boot reset it.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
sit it back. But it's kind of neat that they are at least doing an early release, especially if it's mainline releases in the fall. At least that's always a good thing because
Yeah,
developers can see how their product works on it and stuff. So pretty exciting.
absolutely.
So that was an easy one. All
I
right,
like it.
you're excited about this one. The
Oh
next one.
yeah. So with all the hype around Fallout with the show, they're releasing all kinds of free stuff. By the way, if you all haven't picked up a copy of Fallout, it's free everywhere almost. I know Amazon right now is releasing Fallout 76 for free. The Epic Game Store had Fallout 1, 2, and 3. Um, 4, I have not seen free yet, but it's coming up. So back to this story now. Fallout 4 came in 2015, I believe. They are releasing a next generation update that's going to hit all the consoles and PC. And I'm really excited for PC because it's going to give me some higher def graphics, a couple bug fixes, but really widescreen support. I'm rocking this 40-inch monitor, and Fallout 4 right now really kind of looks terrible, and there's black bars on the side. So it's really going to enhance my experience.
Yeah, a lot of people are excited about this. Uh, as a little side gig, we've been doing retro game reviews, and Doug started with, because of the show, which we'll talk about later, but Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, and then he and I are doing a one on Fallout 3. And that will be released this weekend along with this podcast as well. But they had remastered to an extent Fallout 3, and everybody was wanting them to do 4 as well. And so this
Yep.
is a much welcome thing. I know a lot of people are very excited about it. I think it's neat that they're coinciding it with the TV show, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. I'm excited. I don't know if I'll pick it up on my PlayStation or not. I own it for PlayStation 4. What I would love is if they do what they've done in the past, and if you already own it for PlayStation 4, that they just give me the upgraded version for PS5. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
So we'll see if that happens, but April 25th is right around the corner. That's actually very, very soon.
Yeah. And I've spent hours and hours, hundreds of hours on Fallout 4. So this is definitely going to make me go back through it.
Yeah.
I've got some upgraded computer now. I've got an upgraded
Mhm.
monitor. It's going to look great.
Well, and they're doing what they did with Skyrim and by these re-releases, which I don't mind because these are games that are replayable. You can go back to. So
Oh, absolutely.
it's a good thing. So people are really excited about it. And of course, if you're unfamiliar with the series, just go back, check out, if you go to our YouTube specifically, it's because they're posted on YouTube. They're not a part of the mainline podcast. So just a side series that we're doing about retro game reviews. And if you go to YouTube and then if you check out our channel, go to the playlist, we have retro game review plays, and you can get caught up on what is Fallout 1, what is Fallout 2, what is Tactics, and then 3 will be posted very, very soon. So if you want to get caught up, if and don't want to play through all of them, you could check out those videos. They'll give you a good primer for what they're about. But you really can jump into each one of these independently and not have played the other one. They're all within the same world, but they're separate stories. They're not stories tied together, as far as I remember. You remind me if I'm wrong there, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, you pick up 1, 2 tactics. We'll talk about in our other show is a little different. 3, 4, and then Fallout New Vegas. I mean, there's so many different ones for you to choose from. Of course, the further back you get, not the worse, but the more retro and
Dated. Yeah.
dated the graphics and the play style and all the
But that's
upgrades.
because they were released at an
Yeah,
earlier time. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's good to go back and see where it first started.
Exactly. Well, we're going to talk more about Fallout here in a bit. But this is an exciting thing. So
Very nice.
get on to our last one. This is a big deal. And I don't know if people understand why it's a big deal, but I think they will. There has been a breakthrough with fiber optic technology in which they're able to transmit 4.5 million times faster than current broadband speeds. So just for frame of reference, you're looking at terabytes. So you're looking at 319 terabytes per second. Now, today, a standard in data centers, like you get upward of 10 gig, right? And a gigabyte, if you have like 1,000 gigabyte, you're getting into a terabyte, right? Well, we're already up to, like, right now, we hover around the 10 gig speed on a single strand of fiber. You can go higher. There's somewhere, you can go up to like 100 gig, 500 gig, but this is insane. I mean, you're talking insane speed, 319 terabytes. Now, the way that they were able to do this was inside of the glass, because that is what fiber optic is. There's lasers inside of there, and each laser, and they do different colors. Most of them are red. There are also green. They've tested with blue. The thing is, different colors have different wavelengths. That means that they can go different distances and they can travel at different speeds. The wavelength goes up and down, and it bounces off of the walls of the glass tube. What they've done is they typically would stay in a lower wavelength because they wanted to get distance. They have found that they stayed away from the higher wavelengths because what happens is, it bounces faster. The wavelength is closer together, and it's faster, but they couldn't get it to go over long distances. And we need these things to travel all the way across an ocean, for example, right? So what they did was they found a very unique way of repeating the signal. So they are doing this by tapping into a tighter, faster wavelength that's bouncing inside of the glass tube in a much faster way. And the way that they're basically accommodating the distances, somewhere along the line, they're putting a small device in that repeats the signal and basically boosts the light, makes it brighter. So as it dims when you get further out, it just makes it brighter. And the cool thing is this device, it can be easily installed on pre-existing fiber. That means you don't have to dig up all the fiber in the world, and it's not new fiber. You just clamp this thing on the existing fiber optic cables that we have, and it repeats the signal. And now you just send a brighter light, a different wavelength of light through it, and we're getting insane speeds. Why is this a big deal? Well, holy cow, dude, if you think about this, I mean, you're talking about being able to stream like thousands of 4K video, uh, all within 1 minute, like in a nanosecond. I mean, it's insane.
Crazy.
You do the math on it. So as we get into AI, this is a big deal because keep in mind, fiber optic isn't just used for doing access to the internet or connections to each other. Fiber optics is now starting to be used for storage transfer rate. That means that when you write to a chip and you read from a chip, fiber optic is the lanes of highways that it uses. So now you can read and write faster. You can transmit faster. This is a big deal when you couple it with AI, because AI is a large amount of data. So you need to be able to transmit all of this stuff as fast as possible. This is a huge, huge deal. And when they start using this and leveraging it in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see this coupled with AI, an exponential difference in our technology base. So sorry for the lesson there, the technology, but
No, good.
fiber optics gets kind of complex. I've spent many, many years working with it, and it's a magic science to me. I've worked with it for years, installing it, planning for it. I had to learn. I've been to classes for it. And it's one of those technologies that I'm always like scratching my head going, wow, it's incredible that we were able to figure this out. Lasers. That's what it is. Lasers and glass. So cool.
Nice.
Sorry for the lesson there. Didn't mean to be boring.
Oh no, you're good. Put that in perspective. Terabytes worth of speed. I just did a speed test, and I'm at 280 megabytes per second. So, my goodness, and I think that's super fast.
Yep. Now, it does say that there is a record where they were able to reach a clock speed of a scary 22.9 petabytes per second.
Good Lord.
Now,
Yeah.
it's important to note. So that's the high end of what you could do with it, but the distance is an issue. Okay. So what they're doing is they're getting into the terabytes with some of this speeds, and it's about solving not just speed but distance.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal. Now, our friend Matt would probably tell you that it's coincidental that we're getting advancements in AI and fiber optics, and it's probably because the aliens gave it to us. Tinfoil
Putting on
hat.
my hat here.
It does
Oh,
seem
we like picking on Matt.
We like picking on Matt. Yeah. It does seem coincidental, though. I will say that. We start
Yeah.
seeing UFO sightings, and now all of a sudden we have insane
We got to share
fiber.
all this new information. Or who gave us this new technology?
Who gave us the large language learning models with AI? And now all of a sudden we happen to have the fiber optics to transmit the data needed for large data sets in AI.
Absolutely.
I bet they found it in the pyramids.
Dang it.
Sorry, we got it trolling.
All right.
We love you, Matt.
Back on task.
You can tell it's the morning. We haven't had enough coffee.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So anyway, I look forward to having this in my house.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Let's stop the share. And we're going to get to our mainline topic.
Yeah, as you're setting that up, we are going to talk about the new Fallout series on Amazon Prime. Now, we are going to try our best not to give you any spoilers at all. It just came out. Amazon did us a favor and released all 8 episodes at once. I personally, of course, have watched all 8 episodes. I'll probably watch them again to pick up some of the stuff I missed. But
You've already watched all 8?
Oh, yeah. Binged right through 'em.
I'm only
So we are going
not
to
me.
try our hardest not to ruin it for you because not to jump into it. I think it's a great adaptation of the game.
Yeah, so our big thing is we're gonna try to stay away from spoilers because it is a new show, right? And not everybody is like Doug, and not everybody's been able to power through it. I like, for example, I'm only on like episode number 4, so I got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
But things have been kind of busy. I at least have the trailer up right now, just for frame of reference. Um, the biggest thing that I want to focus on is that, first of all, I want to make it clear you did not have to play the games to enjoy this show. My wife,
No,
she has
not
a
at all.
she has like a cursory idea of the show because she's seen me play it. She's seen our son Gabriel play, so she kind of has a general sense of it, but she doesn't know anything about it. She loves it.
Yeah.
So now she loves action, she loves sci-fi. She's like me, but she loves this show, and I do too. It's so good. My biggest thing about it though is, as somebody who played the games, I'm always leery. And I had critiques of The Last of Us. Last of Us is a great show, and they get some things right, but I don't want to ruin the source material, right? It's gotta feel like the game to me. Last of Us did succeed in that, but I don't feel like they did it with their characters. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say it, Doug. I feel like Fallout is a better adaptation of a video game than The Last of Us. I'm gonna say
Uh,
it. It's probably
yeah.
controversial. I'm just putting it out there.
Now, on my experience, I have not played the
Last of
Last
Us,
of
yeah,
Us game, but I watched the series. I really liked it.
and
But
it's good.
I'm in agreement with you. I think, me being not as hardcore as some, but a hardcore Fallout fan, all the little references, all the little things, all the characters and the factions and the creatures, not to get into too much detail, they did a great job, I think.
It feels like the game from the opening
Yep,
episode.
definitely.
It feels like the game. And it's funny, you said it to me in text. It's like you catch all these little references. And
Oh,
by the way,
yeah.
the things that we're going to mention are not ruining the story. They're just stuff in the game that they put in there,
Yeah.
like stem packs. Immediately, I was like, oh, they got stem packs. You have an
Yeah.
awesome list here. Sugar bombs, which is like a cereal. These are all things in the game you can pick up. There's a reference to cooked iguana, and I said to my wife, that's in the game. Like, the detail of what they took
Yeah.
out of that game, they took the game, all the lore in the world, and they put it in live action so successfully. It was impressive.
Yeah, they did a great job. If we just kind of focus on the trailer that everyone might have seen, not to give it away, you look and you see the Pip Boy suit,
Yeah.
and you're seeing laser rifles, the Yao Guais, those
Mhm.
are the bears.
Mhm.
Right now, we're kind of watching Dog, possibly Dog Meat, one of your companions. So, not to give it away, we'll kind of focus on the trailer there, but
The
they
Brotherhood of
did a
Steel.
really good job. Yep.
The suits look amazing in the
The
Brotherhood of
rad
Steel. Mhm.
roaches,
Mhm.
cockroaches will survive the nuclear apocalypse and Fallout. So,
Yeah, man, I don't know. I had kind of low expectations, I think, because I approached these things. There's this rush now of they're converting video games into live action like they did comic
yeah,
books. And I'm just leery. Like Halo, for example. Halo's good, but uh, I don't feel as though and they did a great job with it. But
yep.
this, to me, hands down, is probably one of the best adaptations. Now, I will say this: I think it's Amazon is doing God of War, and if they
Hopefully they do
if
good.
they
Yeah,
get the casting right, oh my
yeah,
goodness, hold on to your hats because that is one heck of a story. So I'm excited about this.
yeah. As we keep watching the trailer, you have these locations. You have the Vault 33, I believe, is
Yep.
where she's from.
Yep. They're in
Um,
California on this one, by the way. That's not a spoiler. I
yeah,
want to be clear about that. But that's why you see the ocean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right there, you see stim packs and little Vault boys. You see a salesman, lots of salesmen in the game. So.
They really
Uh,
captured the essence of it.
The attention to detail is what got me. So looking at this scene, she's in here with this salesman or bartering,
Hmm.
but you look in the background. The background, they spend so much time on stuff in the background
Hmm.
that you're like, "Ooh, that's in the game. That's in the game. That's in the game." So
Yep. And I'm pretty sure Christopher Nolan, who is the one that did Batman, Tenant, um, Inception, Interstellar. His brother is the one that's directing these episodes. And as I understand, his brother's a pretty big gamer and was big into playing these. And I think that's why it's done so well. They adapted it in such a good job. And each one of the individual characters, they establish them very, very well. And then they tie them all together very well. So the writing's tight so far. The story's tight. It's right in line with not only the video games, um, but it's really a great story. You don't have to know the video games to enjoy this. And to me, that's the mark of a good story, is that you don't have to be familiar with the original source IP in order to enjoy it. And I think that's ultimately what they struck here. They
Oh,
did a really good
absolutely.
job.
Yeah.
So now you don't have to ruin it. You've seen all of it. Just please tell me they left it open, I hope, for a continual season. Because this will get renewed. It has to.
Yes.
It's got like, what's the Rotten
I'll just
Tomatoes on
say
this?
yes.
What's the
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes on this? What's the scoring?
It was at 92%. I will look that up here in a second.
It's got great
Uh,
reviews.
Oh, yeah.
I can even find
94% at the moment. And that's 87% from the audience, 94% from the critics, which is high.
Woo, right here. He's got it. There it is. And Rotten Tomatoes, and I want to be clear. I don't. I look at critic reviews very cautiously, because there are things we've talked about this before where critics will mark it low, and I love it. Like I loved
Yeah.
the Suicide Squad version that had like Will Smith, and they marked it terribly, and I liked it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So I think they're overly harsh. Now, I will pay attention oftentimes, not all the time, when you have a score this high on something like Rotten Tomatoes, you kind of take notice, because I feel as though they're a little rough on
Yeah.
their reviews.
Yeah. So for that to be so high, I mean, even the critics are like, wait, they did a really good job on this. So,
They really did.
scrolling down there, we look at some of the actors. They had great cast for this. Kyle MacLachlan, Walter Goggins, Moses Arias, and Ella Purnell are some of the top ones.
Yep.
They've all had great careers. So
Yep. I love Walter Goggins. He's on Righteous Gemstones. He was in that Santa Claus movie I told you about. He's hilarious. He's a great actor, and he is amazing in this. They're all so good. Kyle MacLachlan, he was on the original Dune, like the OG Dune,
yeah.
the 80s Dune, and he's in this. So
Now back to my childhood. He was also in the Flintstones, I believe.
he was Mr. Flint Rock, or
Yeah, the CEO.
yeah, he was, that Fred worked for. I forgot about that. I forgot
Taking
all
you
that.
way back.
Yeah, that's a deep cut, man. Jeez. So let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on how do you think this is going to help Amazon? This is an Amazon Prime video. You didn't have to pay a separate streaming for this. If you're a Prime member, you get
Yeah.
it. That's different. That's not like this is on Netflix and you pay separate for it. So think about the reach of this, because I would dare say more people probably have Amazon Prime as members to get the 2-day shipping than
Yeah.
probably, and maybe I'm wrong, but Netflix. You know what I mean? So what are your
Oh, yeah.
thoughts on its platform that it was released on, and the reach? What do you think this means?
I think it's going to be great for them. I think if they keep coming out with some of these really good series, they're going to be up there with Netflix, HBO, all that. We're kind of seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, the dying out of cable TV and satellite, and more subscription based, like a la carte menu of your streaming services.
It's kind of going back to cable in a way, because all of, like, by the time you add up a lot of these
Oh, it's
things,
going to be the same price,
it's
probably.
getting
Yeah.
there. It's not
Yeah.
quite there yet, because if you look, but that's only because satellite and cable has only been going up in cost. So it's still more economical to stream, but it's slowly getting to a point. Trust me, there's times where I'm like, man, I haven't watched this service in a while. Maybe I should drop it.
Mhm.
I've thought of that, but I think this is big for Amazon Prime, and I think
Well,
it's going to help them.
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I kind of like that because I've talked to a lot of friends, family that say, "Hey, this series is coming on. I'm gonna get the say Apple TV or get
Yep.
Netflix, binge this series and drop it."
Yep.
Which I like it. I like no contracts, pay by month, and then drop it when you want. Um, so I did that for Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Got
you did?
HBO for Game of Thrones, dropped it after 9 seasons, more whatever seasons it is. Yeah. And now I'm on Apple TV, but I'm stuck on that because there's so much good stuff on there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about just getting, you know, something just for one thing. That's actually a really good point, and I'm sure a lot of people do that. But yeah,
There's
man,
a new Walking Dead, and I think it's on AMC. I
it
was thinking
is.
about getting the AMC app, but I might just wait until it's over.
Mhm.
That might be 5, 6, 10 years down the road. But then I can watch the entire series for a couple months of subscription price and be done with it.
Yeah, and it's funny, I started watching and I will say this is one of the most unique things I've seen a streaming service do. A&E, Arts and Entertainment. They do these really cool documentaries, biographies of like professional wrestling and different things
Oh,
like that. And I wanted to watch some of them. When you
yeah,
download that app, now I'm doing it on Apple TV. It's free because so you could pay, but you're paying to not have ads. So there are ads, but this is what it does. At least it does it on my Apple TV. I'm assuming it would do it on your computer as well. When the ad comes, it says, look, it says you have two options for ads. And it goes, you can watch 2 minutes of ads, or you can do a quote interactive ad for 30 seconds. And what you do is when you choose that, it plays a quick little 30-second video. And all you got to do is move your mouse or move your remote control to left or right once, and then you're right back into it. Because you can
okay,
select and read. It's like a web page almost, and you can read about what it is, and then it jumps right to it. But the cool thing is, it's only 30-second commercials. But then the longer you watch, it rewards you with longer distances between.
nice.
It's really cool. So it rewards you for staying and watching the app longer.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Now, Spotify kind of does the same thing. You'll have these ads that say the next 30 minutes of music is ad free.
I heard
So
Spotify just did some AI stuff. They have
I
AI
haven't
playlists.
experienced it yet. Yeah.
I'm not a Spotify user. I use Pandora predominantly, because I like the algorithm a little better. But it's interesting
Hmm.
how you're going to start seeing AI injected into a lot more of these things. But anyway, back to the point of this show.
Yeah.
I mean, we went down a rabbit hole there. Sorry, everybody, but
No, that's
it's a
okay.
good conversation. Check it out. You don't have to play the video games to be aware of it. This is a home run for Amazon Prime. It does make me excited for other adaptations that they're going to do. I think Amazon is proving that they can really
Yeah.
do these things right. I will say the other Amazon Prime show that really changed my opinion about them was Rings of Power. Did you ever watch
Yes.
that?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I loved it. Like I
I
thought,
thought it was good.
you know, it was up there with the Lord
It
of the
got a
Rings
little
movies.
hate, but I think
I
they
don't
did
think
a
it
good
was
job of
deserving.
trying to, no,
Yeah, I
yeah,
loved
trying
it.
to tell the story.
So I think Amazon's proving that, of course, they have deep pockets, but they can compete with Netflix and an Apple TV and some of these other places and do their own thing. And this show just proves that. So,
Yep.
all right,
Yep.
good talk, man. Man, look at
Yeah.
us. We're already at our
Got to
45
talk
minute
about
mark.
all my favorite things today and then a couple extras. So it was good.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So let's do a quick look ahead. Next weekend, what do we have on the books? It's gonna be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, next weekend we have the Retro Gaming Convention in Columbia, Missouri. It's
Okay.
going to be at the Stony Creek Inn. If you're in the area, please come by and check us out.
Say hi to us.
All the things that you ever want. Retro games. There'll be movies. There'll be props.
Panels,
Lots of
arcades.
panels. Yep,
Yep,
arcades.
fun
I
stuff.
believe they had music last year. It didn't really work out. I don't think they'll have it this year, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of noisy. It's kind of a noisy environment. They've
Yeah.
had good turnout year over year. And what's fascinating about this show is that it was started by a young kid. And is this year
I
3
think he's a
or 2?
senior in high school now.
How many years have we been doing this? I think this is the third year.
This is our third
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Yep,
Or if not, I'm sure Brian will correct us.
absolutely.
But we'll be working the booth with my brother Brian, who's an avid game collector. We've had him on before, so we'll do coverage. We'll show you what is at the show. There's some celebrity people that are going to be there, some YouTubers.
Yep.
I believe the Mortal Kombat guy, the guy who did the art for Mortal Kombat, is going to be
Hmm.
there again. So all kinds
It
of fun
should be a
stuff.
great time. They'll have some tournaments, I think.
Yep.
Uh, Wizards and Witches. It's an arcade. I think after the convention, another tournament starts at Wizards and Witches.
Yeah. Now, Brian had told me that there is a competing, I think, a comic book convention that's taking place that same day in the same city.
Oh, uh,
I don't know if that's going to help
that
or
might
hurt
boost
attendance.
our numbers, maybe. Yeah.
Could boost or hurt.
Yeah.
because if people are bouncing between the two cons, I love that Columbia's starting to host these kinds of things, like something near us.
Absolutely,
Isn't
yeah.
that really cool? I think that's
It
kind of
is good.
neat. So I'm excited about it.
It's gonna be a great day. So next week, and stop me if I say something, but we are gonna be working pretty hard at the con. It's gonna be a long day, but we're definitely gonna give you a review of our experience, the things we saw, the things we liked, just like the big con in Kansas City.
Yep, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. Things are heating up.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man, it's really awesome. Finally, don't forget about our merch store. Doug finally got his baseball tee, didn't he?
Yes.
He did.
I am gonna represent at the con, and we will definitely get some pictures.
And I got a hat. See that? I'm wearing it right now. For
It
those of
looks
you,
very nice.
what's awesome is it's a gray hat for those of you on audio, and it's got a patch with our logo, but the patch is leather and it's
Oh,
sewn in. It's
it
really
looks
nice.
very well done.
Dude, I love this hat. I love this hat. And I also got a baseball tee and a new t-shirt. So Doug and I went ahead and did a little shopping spree on our own store because my other Wired Nerdy shirt was starting to I wear it so much. The
Yeah.
logo is starting to flake off, and you can't have that at the con.
And then we'll have to ask Brian if I can get my lovely flag to come with us.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to hang it up. Might be able to.
Yeah,
They
there's
have
a lot of
weird
rules.
rules at these
Yeah.
places. So, but no, man, we were going to be there helping him sell his wares, also promoting the podcast. So definitely show up, check it out. We'll drive up that attendance and it'll be good. So I think that does it, man. You want to round us out on the closure?
Yeah, like I said, Fallout. This is definitely the week of Fallout between the free games, discounted games, upgrades coming, and the show. So, if you've ever wanted to get into the Fallout world and travel into the wasteland, now is definitely the time. So, please check it out and let us know what you think. Let us know what you love if you're already a Fallout fan. And we are going to continue to try to bring you some good content. We're going to try to work on some more interviews and stuff like that. So, come back.
All right. That sounds good. Everybody have an awesome week and we will see you next week. Take care.